views and opinions expressed here are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. This podcast may contain adult language. Audience members' discretion is advised. What's up, guys? It's Dottie here with another episode of Political Vibes. This is episode number 3. I'm sorry I wasn't able to provide you any content last week. Unfortunately, I was under the weather. I had a touch of the flu. So, my week pretty much consisted of laying in bed, taking medicine, and sleeping. But thank God I'm feeling better now. My batteries are recharged, and I really wanted to make an episode for you guys sooner rather than later. So, yeah, let's get into it. Episode 3 is going to be information on primary voting in your state. Primaries are coming up really soon. Some states have already had their primaries. So I really wanted to kind of provide you guys some kind of information on the whole primary voting, how the way you can vote and things like that. I hope everybody's already registered to vote, because it's really the deadline's really coming close, if not already passed, to register to vote. The primary voting is right around the corner. At least for my state, it is. I live in Alabama, so our primaries is on the 3rd of March, if I'm not mistaken. So it's really coming up on us. If you guys didn't know what a primary vote was, I wanted to kind of explain what it is. Iowa has had their first voting take place, but it's called a caucus. It's not called a primary, it's called a caucus. So you have two ways of selecting candidates, and that's either through a caucus or a primary. So Iowa had their caucus, and last time I checked, Bernie Sanders was up on Pete Buttigieg in the Iowa caucus, which is good. If you like progressive candidate, Bernie Sanders is your guy. At least in my opinion, it is. But primaries are different than caucuses. A caucus, you have people that get together in these special kind of these special kind of events. So like, for example, in small precincts, you'll have groups of 50 to 100 people get together, and the different parties will have different ways of going about it. But they have a process in place in the caucus where people try to market for different candidates, and they campaign for different candidates and so forth. That's pretty much what a caucus is. It's kind of weird. In my opinion, everybody should have a primary ran in their state, not a caucus, because it's kind of confusing. But nonetheless, that's what they have in Iowa. Hopefully they maybe change the system in Iowa to make it easier for Iowans to just have a primary rather than a caucus, because it's kind of a confusing process. So that's what a caucus is. A primary, all it is it's kind of like just an election that is based on party for whom do you want to be your nominee. That's all a primary is. So that's what a primary is. That's what a caucus is. They're two different things, but they both hold very, very high value in the voting process. So that's what that is. I want to elaborate a little bit more on what a primary is. It is different than in general election, and so I wanted to get into that a little bit more. I want to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to discuss the difference in between primaries and the general election. So stay with me, guys, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, we're back here on Political Vibes. So yeah, I want to get right back into it. I was talking about in the last segment about caucuses, about primaries, and I wanted to let you guys know on what a primary is. It's different from, they're really similar, but they're also different between a primary and a general election. A primary election is one party is debating within that party. So, like for example, the president of the United States is Donald Trump. He's a Republican. He's in the Republican Party, so he's a Republican president. So the incumbent, or the opponent, if you would say, is the opposite party. So in this case, the opposite party is the Democratic Party, and it's going to be candidates within that party debating each other to become the Democratic nominee to go against Donald Trump. So that's what the primary is. So again, the primary, the Democrats are the ones that are primarying, that are having these primary voting. And to give you an example of some of the candidates that are running to try to become the person who goes on and face Donald Trump in November, let me see. One would be Bernie Sanders, of course. Another would be former vice president to Obama, Joe Biden. Another person would be Pete Buttigieg. He's a mayor from Indiana. You have Amy Klobuchar. She's a senator from Minnesota. I want to say you have two billionaires. They're so-called Democrats or running as Democrats. Tom Steyer and Mike Bloomberg. To be fair, though, I do like Tom Steyer. I don't know. I like his demeanor. I like what he says. I like that he's rich, and I don't like that he's, well, let me rephrase this. I don't mind that he's rich, but I like the fact that he is a rich guy, saying that rich people need to pay more in taxes. So I do respect that. Now, if you ask me who I want to run against Donald Trump, obviously it's Bernie Sanders, but I do like Tom Steyer. Mike Bloomberg, he's kind of the opposite of Tom Steyer. He's a billionaire also, but he's the opposite. I think he's more a part of the establishment type of candidates. But Anyway, those are some of the candidates that are running in a Democratic Party. And that's what the primary is all about. It's about selecting a certain individual within that party to go on and face the opposing party, and so forth, or vice versa. If it was a Democratic president, then if it was a primary, if this was the primary year to vote, then it would be the Republican Party. Or it could be another party, but the main two parties are obviously Republican and Democrat. So those are the two main parties. So that's what a primary vote is. A general election is the quote unquote big election. That's when you have a Democrat versus a Republican. And that's whoever wins that election becomes president. So the primary isn't that, but it's a very, very important step to the general election. So I just wanted to, again, highlight the two in their differences, but they're really, really similar also. So when we come back, I'm going to give you more information on how to know when to vote in your state in your primary election. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back, guys. Hey guys, we're back here on Political Vibes. Thanks for hanging in there with me through this podcast. So I wanted to pick up where I left off in the last segment. If you guys didn't know, when I was talking about caucuses and when I was telling you that they have small precincts, if anybody didn't know what precincts was, I will further elaborate on what a precinct is. So, only thing a precinct is it's an area that has a clear boundary line around it, making it easier for the police to know where a crime is taking place, or where you can go vote. So these places, these precincts, it just are at our locations that makes it easier for police to keep watching. Pretty much a public place is all pretty much what a precinct is. So I mean, it could be a school, it could be a church. It can be some kind of establishment within your state that a lot of people know, that a lot of the public goes to. So anything like that, a school, a church, etc. That's where usually caucuses are held. They might be at like some kind of like business, something like that. So I just wanted to give you guys like an example on what a precinct was. And it's spelled PRECINCT, precinct. So that's what a precinct is. I just wanted to let you guys know that. So the last thing I wanted to talk about was giving you guys information on your primary, when it's going to be within your state. And how I found this information out was, only thing I did, guys, honestly, is I went to Google and I typed in 2020 presidential election calendar, and an article of New York Times came up. And on this calendar, it shows you different dates and they're highlighted, and you can hit these different dates, and it'll show you when your state votes. So, for example, the month of February, it has a calendar. It has a calendar for all the months. So, but within February, it shows you it's highlighted. I think the red highlight is when the primaries and caucuses are held, and I think the yellow highlight is when the debates and stuff are held. So, like for example, I scroll down to March, and March the 3rd was highlighted in red. So I tapped that, and it showed that Alabama is one of the states that is voting on that day. So, and it has a bunch of states on March the 3rd that's voting. So you're liable to hit that one, and your state's more than likely up there. I think it was about 15 states that's voting on the same day that my state's voting on. But it's pretty self-explanatory. And again, if you want to go type in on Google New York Times 2020 presidential election calendar, it should pop up. And so it's really, really easy. And I wouldn't just be saying that because I'm all about the easy. So if I say it's easy, it's pretty easy, guys. And so, but I will do this too. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I will share that on my page. So you guys could click that link and go straight to it. If you guys didn't know my Twitter handle, it's at DottieD92. That's DAHDEE, the number 9 and the number 2. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it on this episode. I do want to take one final break to shout you guys out and let you guys know how much I appreciate you guys' support. So after this last break, we're going to wrap up the show. Stay tuned. Hey guys, we're back here on Political Vibes. So that wraps up episode 3. I hope I provided you guys with some key information that's going to help you out. This primary voting that's taking place is very, very important. I would rather have Bernie Sanders come out in this primary to go on and face Donald Trump. That's honestly the only person I think that can beat him head to head. Again, guys, Bernie Sanders is a progressive. He's been a progressive. He has stood on the same type of policies, and he has had the same message the 40 plus years he's been serving in Congress. And so I just feel like he's for the average workers. I feel like he's for the middle class. I feel like he's for people like me, people like you. Hell, I don't know. Maybe you're rich. Maybe you're able to afford health care. Maybe you're able to afford rent and afford your house or afford your apartment and afford your bills by working one job. If so, kudos to you. But it's a lot of people that I know, including myself, that has to work 2 and 3 jobs to just make it. And I'm talking about just being able to make it. And to me, that's unfair. To me, it's wrong. And Bernie Sanders feels the same way. And his message resonates to me. And That's just coming from me. Like I said, guys, this is an opinionated show, and I'm just giving you guys my honest opinion. You might think it's somebody else that's that you support that's able to dethrone Donald Trump, or hell, you might even support Donald Trump. I'm not trying to judge anybody. Hey, you support who you support, you like who you like, but this is my show, and I am giving you guys my opinion on who I think that would be a better president and who could change our lives for the better. I just think stuff like health care for all is a great policy. I think the Green New Deal, which is a climate change policy that he has, I think climate change is a real big deal. I think that universal housing is a big deal. I think that at least having a $15 minimum wage is a big deal. Those are things that I care about, and those are things that he care about, and I support that. If Donald Trump had those same policies, I would support him, but obviously he does not. If you want my honest opinion, he just serves people who are like him, who's rich. And I don't know about you, but I'm not one of those people. So yeah, there's that. And so anyway, guys, I wanted to thank you guys for tuning in. I want to, excuse me, I want to thank you guys for showing me support, showing me love. Thank you guys for following me on Twitter. And again, guys, if you want me to talk about anything, if you have any questions, if you have any type of topics you want me to talk about, please at me on Twitter. Please, it's a message link, a voice message link that's attached to all my podcasts. And if you have the Anchor app, you could leave me voice messages. So if you like what I'm doing, let me know. If you don't, let me know. If it's things that you want me to talk about, let me know this, guys. Thank you again for the support. Hopefully episode 4 will be coming to you guys soon. Peace and blessings, guys. Have a good one.